Congressional Republicans said they spoke with Luft about the business dealings of the Biden family, told members of the press he had gone missing. Those same lawmakers also have called him, quote, very credible. As recently as Friday, Republican Congressman James Comer of Kentucky, as I said, he's the chair of the Oversight Committee, said this.
He's very credible, and the people on MSNBC who made fun of me when I said we had an informant that was missing, they should feel like fools right now.
They are fools.
And this is their worst nightmare because, again, this is a credible witness that the FBI flew all the way to Brussels to interview and sent several agents to interview.
So to recap, Joe, this man, Gal Luft, who James Comer...
Hold on.
Stupidity.
Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay,
I got a checklist.
So he's your man. That Congressman Comer, the head of oversight, Senator Ron Johnson has been on TV a lot talking about this man as well. They've hung their case. They said he can tell the story of the alleged Biden crime family doing business with China, et cetera. He is accused in an 8-count indictment, among other things, of being an illegal arms broker, an unregistered...
Illegal arms dealer, okay.
Unregistered agent for the Chinese government.
We're working with the Chinese illegally. Okay, I get that one.
Helping China to get Iranian oil in violation of U.S. sanctions.
Okay, hold on. I've got to put down illegally. Hold on. Illegally smuggling Iranian oil for the Chinese communist. There's a lot to write here. Chinese Communist Party. Okay, so wait, hold on a second. Okay, because this is a lot, and I'm a simple country lawyer. So we got the Chinese espionage, we've got the illegal arms dealer, and we've got him illegally smuggling Iranian oil for the Chinese Communist Party. Does that have it? Does that
and then just to put a period on the end of the sentence, and then lying to federal agents about all of it.
In a move as predictable as the sun rising in the morning, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York has announced that Gal Luft, the Republicans' principal witness alleging that Joe Biden was involved in some massive pay-for-play scheme, has been charged with acting as an unregistered agent for China, trafficking arms, violating U.S. sanctions against Iran, and making false statements to federal agents. Because of fucking course, the GOP pinned all of their hopes on some con man criminal yet again. Of fucking course, the GOP was working with an unregistered agent for China to attack the President of the United States. What's new? The Republicans have been pointing to this guy for months being the key to proving their claim that Joe Biden was selling influence from the White House and that they had the perfect witness, but, and I hope you're sitting down for this, they just kept losing him.
Hold on a second, Congressman. Did you just say that the whistleblower or the informant is now missing?
Well, we're hopeful that we can find the informant. Now, remember, these informants are kind of in the spy business.
Just stunning. A stunning breaking news story this morning that some of these people now may be missing. Mr. Chairman, we're certainly going to be covering and reporting your findings.
I mean, my God, you would think after helping cost Fox News $787 million that Maria Bartiromo would just be a tad more discerning. That woman consumes every dumb lie that she's being fed with the enthusiasm of my dog eating peanut butter. If you offer her a lie on national TV, she doesn't waste a single second before diving in face first and believing it. Tell you what, I sure hope those IRS scammers never call her phone because she's about to send her entire life savings to India in the form of a Bitcoin gift card. In fact, this past Sunday, Republican Ron Johnson, who also never met a conspiracy theory he doesn't believe, suggested on air that Luft should be granted immunity during an interview with who else but Maria Bartiromo. Quote, now, he's literally fleeing for his life right now. He's on the run. He's an important witness. He needs to be granted immunity to be able to testify and tell his story. In other words, Johnson wanted to protect a guy who literally orchestrated a scheme to, quote, recruit and pay a White House advisor to support China-friendly policies as part of an effort to take down Joe Biden, who he claimed without evidence was orchestrating a pay-for-play scheme himself. I'm going to repeat that. Johnson wanted to protect a guy who devised a pay-for-play scheme because he wanted to try to nail Joe Biden for participating in a pay-for-play scheme. I would say you couldn't make this up, but frankly, it is exactly the right amount of stupid and hypocritical for today's GOP. And for those of you who say, of course SDNY charged him, it's all a deep state plot to retaliate against him for exposing the truth. Small problem, the charges were filed in November of 2022. At that point, the Democrats still had control of Congress. James Comer hadn't even begun his quote-unquote investigation into all this alleged Biden corruption. And not for nothing, but it's a little difficult to retaliate against something that quite literally hadn't happened yet. And yet still, that hasn't stopped Republicans from pretending regardless that their big star witness is being silenced. Again, for charges that were filed in November of last year. Here's Nancy Mace and Maria Bartiromo ramping up the theatrics because that's how dumb they think their audience is.
Reaction to this indictment of Gal Luft.
Well, no one should be surprised here. I don't trust the DOJ or the FBI. They are trying to silence our witnesses. This is a way to do that. He deserves to testify before the Oversight Committee. We have a lot of questions. We want to know why the evidence he brought forth to the FBI in that Brussels meeting in 2019 was not followed up on. And the irony here is not lost on anyone. Charging him for failing to register as a foreign agent. Well, I have a question for the DOJ and the FBI this morning. What was Hunter Biden doing with millions and millions of dollars from foreign countries advocating and lobbying on their behalf? I mean, really, this is obscene that they're not charging Hunter with the same crimes they're charging this guy.
And just to be crystal clear here, this is Nancy Mace going on air and suggesting that the Biden administration is retaliating against the Republican star whistleblower, despite the fact that said whistleblower was charged before the committee investigating Joe Biden even came into existence. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter. As far as Republicans go, this was never about the facts, it was simply about getting the narrative into the mainstream. Because now, regardless of what happens next, their base already heard it and they believe it. And they sure as hell aren't going to defer to some fact check from the libs in the mainstream media. And so really, the Republicans have already done their jobs. James Comer did his job, Maria Bartiromo did her job, Ron Johnson did his job. They're not there to tell the truth, they are there to lie to people who frankly want to be lied to, and that's exactly what they did. So look, I do these fact checks and they're for people who have an ounce of integrity and care about the truth, but I want to make sure that you all can see the asymmetry at play here between the two parties. These Republicans are not interested in the truth, and they're certainly not interested in these fact checks. Their lies are the point, just as they've always been the point. Going back to the days of Benghazi, Kevin McCarthy literally showed up on national television and admitted that the whole point of the Benghazi Select Committee, for which Hillary Clinton was ultimately absolved of any wrongdoing by the Republicans' own committee, was to use that scandal as a predicate to hurt Hillary Clinton's poll numbers.
Everybody thought Hillary Clinton was unbeatable, right? But we put together a Benghazi special committee, a select committee. What are her numbers today? Her numbers are dropping. Why? Because she's untrustable. But no one would have known any of that had happened had we not fought and made that happen.
And just like the GOP was content to manipulate the truth for their own partisan benefit then, they're doing exactly the same thing today, because when the facts aren't on their side, they'll have to make do with the lies. So if you were fed this narrative by Republicans, first of all, I hope you recognize the extent to which you've been duped by the people who you trusted. But more than that, I hope this serves as a testament to the fact that these people have no shame when it comes to lying to the people who they serve. It is a performance intended solely for the rubes who they care so little for that they will piss on their legs and tell them it's raining. These people are not your friends, they are not your advocates, they are not your leaders. They are professional con artists, and you are their marks. Before you go, I need some help. Please subscribe to the channel and do your part to help grow the progressive media ecosystem. I don't do sponsorships or paid ads, I won't ask for money, but just subscribing to this channel goes a really long way, and it helps get the message out to more people. The subscribe button is right here on this screen. You can also subscribe to my Spanish language channel, which I made to reach those crucial Spanish-speaking voters. That link is on the screen too. And finally, if you want to listen to my audio podcast, you can follow that link as well. Thanks so much for watching.